When that number popped up, my jaw dropped, as I'd never been that heavy in my whole life. We're talking 400 pounds. I think it was like 401 actually, 401, 402, and it just, when I stepped on that scale, it shocked me. I wasn't sure what I even could do at that point. And it was at that point that I had talked to the doctor right at that session about, okay, she spelled out basically that I would have about maybe 10 years before my first heart attack. I'm 40 years old. I just had a birthday this past May, and my doctor's telling me I'm gonna have a heart attack before I'm 50 years old.
It's very scary I can't imagine my life without him. And to think that we only could possibly have up to 10 years left with him, it just was a whirlwind. I had begged and begged and begged him for years to do something. To do something about his weight. We were worried about him for so long with his weight, and just worried that he wouldn't make it to 50, and he's 40. So the doctor gave him basically 10 years to live if he didn't change his lifestyle.
I just told him that after him seeing the doctor and we found out what that meant and what he said about only 10 more years could be left. And I don't know what my future holds right now, but I know for sure I want to get married someday, and I don't know how long down the future that's going to be. And if he only had 10 more years left, I didn't know if he'd be able to walk me down the aisle. And I was very emotional about it, and I wasn't trying to guilt him into anything in any way, but I was just telling him honestly that I want you around. I want you around to walk me down the aisle. I want you around to see my children someday. And if he only had 10 more years left, that wouldn't happen. And I think that really is what pushed him, because I know he wants to see my brother graduate from high school, from college, see his kids too. And I really believe that he did that for us, but he also did it for himself too, because I know he wants those things too.
I'm the principal at Baldwin Heights Elementary School here in Greenville Public Schools. And what that entails is that I need to be out in the building a lot. And I'm working with teachers, I'm working with kids, I'm working with parents, try to be visible out in the community and try to be an example for these kids. Feeling hypocritical is the only way I can say it. We do a walkathon every year, and in the walkathon I get dressed up as a character called Workout Walsh. And it's all in good fun, and I come out looking goofy, and I like to be goofy with the kids, and I try to have a good sense of humor whenever I can. And here I am promoting to the students and telling them how important it is to eat healthy and to exercise, when I'm living my life exactly the opposite of what I'm preaching to them they should be doing. So, guilty, a little bit ashamed, and downright feeling hypocritical of how can I be some kind of a beacon for these kids when I can't even get my own life together. I've done diets and I can't make them stick. Whether it's a lack of willpower, whether it's maybe deep down I didn't want to, I need to make a change. What is something that I can do? So we went through a bunch of options and we talked, and we went through the option of going through the extreme of possibly having surgery. The reason I even went through Grand Health Partners was because it was recommended to me by a close friend of mine, Ann Harvey.
I remember thinking, don't hit 300. Don't hit 300 pounds, just don't hit 300 and you'll be fine, just don't hit 300. Then that 300 number came and I thought, well, it's just 300, it's not 301, So I had the sleeve surgery done. There was no way that I was not going to be the mom for my daughter. There was no way that anything was going to make me not be the best mom and best wife I could be. and I had a huge wake-up call. I've been the chunky little girl. I was the fluffy adolescent. I was the fat high schooler. I was always the friend, the heavier friend. Always the bridesmaid in the dress that was different than everybody else's. I was always the big girl. So I always knew I didn't want to be that, but once you're kind of in a role, it's very difficult to break out of that role. 314 was my highest number, which is a crazy number. So I'm currently 156, so it means I've lost 158. I am an active part of my daughter's life. That's a pretty big statement. I don't feel like a spectator anymore. I don't feel like I'm setting her up to go do something and then I have to watch. I can actually say, Grace, let's go for a walk. Let's go for a bike ride together. I don't have to watch my daughter grow up. I can be a part of it.
I'm about a little less than 6 months out now. And my entire life has changed and done a 180 completely. I mean, I would dare say that my family, close friends would say I'm a different person completely. And not just physically, but emotionally too. So I'm down 137 pounds from where I was back in April. My sizes have shrunk. My neck was a 22, and I still had to wear the stretchy button. Now I'm at an 18 and it's loose. I'm probably going to be down to like a 17 and a half soon. You know, I've gone from wearing 5XL clothing to just 2XL clothing, which is where I was when I was in college. And there's a feeling that pretty much my whole life I either had felt and ignored or truly didn't feel. And that's, I'm full. Just those two little words were like, I just ate something and I'm full now. Or I can stop and I'm okay stopping. And it was just like something that I'm sure everyday people take for granted. But when you're morbidly obese and 400 pounds, you're never really full. Because your stomach can just keep stretching and stretching and you can't get full. In the end, this surgery is just a tool. It's not what's going to change my life. It's all the things that led up to that and all the things that I've done since then that is the lifestyle change that has to occur for this kind of surgery or tool to be successful. I'm a better principal after this procedure. I'm out in the halls much more than I ever have been. I'm visible to these kids. I'm in the classrooms and not just, looking at things I normally would have had to look at before. I'm there just to hang out and say hi to the kids and let them know I'm here. If you need anything, I'm always here to help. I looked for reasons to stay in my office before. And now I'm looking for reasons to get out of this office because I feel constricted in this chair. I don't want to be sitting down. I want to be out there. I want to be in the classrooms. I want to be high-fiving the kids in the hallway. I want to be shaking hands. I want to be, giving the kids the little side hugs and let them know I care about them. I'm a better principal for having done this and changing my life like this.
It really has changed his life. He's off, heartburn medication. He doesn't have to use his CPAP machine anymore when he sleeps. He's running up and down the football field. He's, just gotten so active, and knowing that he's going to be around for my kids, to see them get married and be a grandpa, and it's just amazing, and I'm just so proud to call him my husband.
It's just amazing. Like, he's literally lost me because I'm 135 pounds, and he sometimes he'll just experiment and he'll just have me stand on his shoulders, hang on his shoulders, and he is astonished on how he could possibly do that back then. And I think it's just we're all really proud of him and what he's accomplished, and he's been working really hard on this. And
trying to picture him now how he was, I can't picture him anymore. I only see how far he's come, and It's just inspirational, and just, I mean, to so many people, to my family, and to the community here. It's quite mind-blowing to me because every time that I would come home from college, he's thinner. He's even thinner than when I saw him like a few weeks ago, and that's just, I'm like, how the number changes. The number always changes every time I come back to. It's another 15 pounds, another 20 pounds, and it's just unreal to me, and I'm very proud of him.
Even though it was me going to the doctor, and my own parents, my kids, even the students in this school, all these are nice extrinsic motivators. But if it doesn't come from within, it's never going to happen. You've got to want to do this for yourself. And for me, it was that shock of seeing that number. It was the reflection process that I went through to, what am I telling these kids? How am I there for my own kids if I'm this kind of person? And it wasn't until I went through that process of really looking deep into my soul and making that change inside that I knew I was going to even have remote success with this, because I am like so many other people that have tried and failed a number of times. My only advice for those folks then is that, are you doing it for the right reasons? Because if you're not doing it for yourself, it's not going to work. It may work for a while. Temporarily, you may lose some weight. Sooner or later, it's going to come back on. Sooner or later, you make excuses unless you're doing it for yourself, unless you have made that commitment. And for me, that commitment needed to take the form of committing to having surgery done. And it's been the best thing I've ever done.